Thank you all for being here today, for your interest in this issue, and I'd especially like to thank my colleague Chip Pickering for teaming up with me to publicize the problems with enhanced chicken labeling. Many of you in this room today are aware that labels on our fresh chicken products are deceptive, but most Americans are not. When a label says 100% natural, consumers should be getting a product as it occurs naturally, not something that has been enhanced, injected, or altered with artificial substances. The way I see it, a piece of chicken that has been injected with extra sodium, extra water, and has binding agents such as carrageenan, a seaweed extract used to facilitate the absorption of much liquid as possible, it should not carry the 100% natural label on it. Not only do these deceptive labels cause consumers to overpay for fresh chicken products, as Chip will tell you about next, but there are significant personal health implications to being fooled by the 100% natural label. Thankfully, American consumers are increasingly focusing on the health risks associated with excess sodium. But it's hard for people to make these healthy choices when USDA allows deceptive labeling on the products that they consume. Enhanced, or as I call it, pumped up chicken, can contain over 800% more sodium per serving than truly natural chicken. In fact, one serving of pumped up chicken contains 370 milligrams. By the way, that's more sodium than you would find in a large order of McDonald's French fries, which contains 330 milligrams of sodium. It's just unbelievable the amount of sodium that you intake eating enhanced chicken. My wife is a family physician. She often recommends that her patients reduce sodium levels consumption as preventative health measures, especially for people with heart disease. As part of this recommendation, I can guarantee you she does not advocate eating salty French fries as part of that diet. But it's exactly what would happen if you eat enhanced chicken the way it's being produced by many of America's producers. Most Americans are dangerously unaware of this labeling abuse. In a recent nationwide survey, over 70% of consumers had no idea that some poultry companies were routinely adding sodium and other additives to their fresh chicken. Because the statements on the package are so small, oftentimes 6 and 8-point type, almost 3 out of 4 consumers failed to notice it right on the front label. As more and more chicken producers choose to enhance their fresh chicken products, it's time for USDA to act on consumers' behalf and change the labeling requirements for chicken. USDA's labeling standards should be changed in 2 important ways. First, enhanced chicken products should not be allowed to carry the 100% natural label. And second, solution statements which detail the amount of sodium and other additives in the product should be put in bold print on the package, easy for consumers to read. Consumers expect and deserve truthfulness in their food labeling so that they can make informed and healthy choices. I hope by bringing much needed attention to this issue, USDA will act to amend its labeling rules as soon as possible. As part of my closing statement, I just want to add that last night, yesterday afternoon, I spoke with California Attorney General Jerry Brown, and he is incredibly concerned about this issue, has asked his staff to look into the matter, and will be following up. I want to thank you all for being here, and now I'd like to turn it over to my friend and colleague from Mississippi, Chip Pickering. Chip, I'm also going to have to leave because we're marking up the Farm Bill right now, and so I apologize.
That is very important now.
Thank you. I'm not walking out, anybody.
Well, no, I want to thank Congressman Cardoza and his leadership on this issue. And as he was talking about pumped up chicken, I had flashbacks to Saturday Night Live, and was it Dana Garvey? Yeah. But this is about truth in advertising, and it's about fair weights. The scales of justice and the scales of how we market and do weights goes back historically to the beginning of time, and it was always considered a fair practice that whatever you sold was the true weight, or whatever was purchased was based on a true weight. In the case we have here, up to 15% of the weight of what is being sold is either saline, salt water, some form of solution. Now that totals about $2 billion in extra weight that is not chicken, that is not poultry, It is not the product that consumers are purchasing. And that is, to me, an unfair practice as well as a deceptive practice. And we need to make sure that the USDA is not only promoting labeling that gives consumers what is truly natural, not additives, not solutions, not pumped up chicken, as Congressman Cardoza, but they also are having the fair weights, that they're buying what they're buying. They're buying the natural product and not added solution that, again, takes away from what a family is purchasing when they come to their meals and to something that is as healthy and as possibly good for you as poultry. As Congressman Cardoza was talking, in my home state of Mississippi, we are unfortunately leading in the healthcare indices of hypertension, of heart disease, or cardiovascular disease, and to know that a supposedly healthy product that is labeled all natural is in fact less healthy than McDonald's French fries is disturbing. And to have the levels of sodium or salt that are at that level without consumers knowing, I think is something that the USDA should address. And that's why I'm glad to join my colleague and with other groups to promote what is truly natural and what is a fair and true weight. And with that, I would be glad to take any questions for both Congressman Cardoza and myself.
I'm Michael Jacobson from the Center for Science in the Public Interest, and I just wanted to thank Congressman Pickering and Cardoza for their efforts on on both the industry's behalf to create a level playing field and on consumers' behalf. So we're not bilked out of those, what did you say, a couple of $1 billion worth a year, where people are buying water thinking they're getting chicken. It's just highway robbery. The robbery is half the problem, and the other half, as they indicated, is the sodium. Chicken is normally low in sodium, but Safeway's house brand chicken breasts have 310 milligrams of sodium per serving compared to 50 milligrams in an ordinary chicken breast, 6 times as much sodium. Young turkey breast is the same situation. Marvel Prime turkey breast contains 440 milligrams of sodium, more than 8 times as much sodium as is in just truly natural turkey. We're consuming far more sodium. We're consuming at least twice as much sodium as we ought to, and we don't need to have sodium sneaking into our food supply from these unsuspected sources. USDA could easily deal with this problem. And as the congressman noted, there are really 2 aspects of this. One, not to allow this pumped up chicken to be called natural. Natural chicken doesn't come with all that extra sodium, carrageenan, and phosphates, and whatever other additives are added. And then if companies are going to do it, the least consumers should expect is clear labeling, not this microscopic printing at somewhere on the label. USDA approves every label. It could stop this almost overnight. So I'll be brief, and both the congressman and I would be glad to answer any questions.